and it's chapter 5. We were wound up and wound down like mechanical dolls. They turned the lamps on, they turned the lamps off, and another day is done. I wish I could just stop time until I'm ready, I told Isabel some night last year when neither of us could sleep. We sat on the floor of her cubicle, our backs against the mirrored wall, legs stretched out in front of us, and I tried not to compensate for the size of my thigh gaps. Hold on. And I tried not to compare the size of my thigh gap to hers. Do you ever feel like that? No, she said, but I felt illogically betrayed. I pulled away from her a little, loneliness burying itself deep inside me. She shifted closer, refusing to allow me to sulk. Don't worry about the future, she said. Things are only going to get better. I promise. She promised me. The dorms are hazy with steam tonight. It's crawling into my mouth, gathering in the back of my throat. I need to breathe. I paused by Isabel's room on my way to the dorms, see her platinum hair spilling over the pillows. But it's been a long time since she's come into my room at night. I follow the floor tiles, black to white, until I reach the cloisters, walking the long nave and its curved window frames on either wall, each one sealed up to block out the dead outside. The windows are covered with giant paintings, 7 on each side, all depicting images from life before us: the Empire State Building, the Grand Canyon, the Great Wall of China, the pyramids, the Colosseum, the Taj Mahal. I imagine them baking like clay in the blistering heat, or maybe they're swimming underneath the giant ocean, only fish bones left to keep them company. The others think it's weird that I love watching the Nature Channel to see what the world was like before us. They don't understand why I'd want to know about the life cycle of frogs, or watch the sea roaring, throwing its spittle out to the thousands of grains of sand, fields of corn waving in the breeze, mountains capped in glittering ice, millions and millions of people living in the big cities, all performing their part in an intricate dance, weaving in and around each other, unthinking. The only nature they show us in class is the authorized destruction series, the ice melting, the seas reconciling their differences, and drowning the doomed and low-lying countries, never to be seen again. There was relief at first, the hope that they'd find an organic solution to the population crisis, but that soon turned to fear, and the remaining people moved inward and inward and inward until the zones were formed to protect the remaining few from the scalding sun and the rising waters. The Noah Project. 2 by 2 humans entered, all marching forward to create a new world. They got rid of everything we would not need, like animals and organized religion. They got rid of anything that would weigh us down. I reached the giant wooden doors guarding the entrance, each one engraved with the white, red, and black triangles of the triquetra. I twist the brass handle and release them, my sweating hands slipping, leaving a mucus-like residue. The gates stand sentinel next, rusty metal arches reaching into spikes, waiting for intruders that will never come. In the garden, I walk along the circular concrete path, looping around our living quarters, stepping off the path into the grass, then synthetic blades scratching my bare feet as I weave my way around the army of trees. Each one is positioned at an equal distance from the next, their plastic limbs extending into painted leaves, embellished with crystals, stuffed birds glued on like feathered tumors. I think of the videos on the Nature Channel, of the vast orchards in Old England, the gnarled branches heavy with natural food. They must be dead now, those trees, like anything else, rotted away, decaying like female babies in the uterus, decomposing from the inside out. You are fortunate, Chastity Ruth told us as we were formally introduced into the school in 4th year. I still remember how strange the clothes felt, how heavy my lips were with the coating of unfamiliar lipstick. We were in the hall, watching as she gave her speech on stage, our bodies, so little as they so little they were nearly consumed by the cushioned velvet seats. Fortunate, she repeated sternly. I pulled down the cropped t-shirt with glittery lips embroidered on it. The gap between it and the new denim hot pants were too bare for comfort. Her lip turned up in a snarl when she saw me fidgeting, her eyes fierce, and I felt afraid for the first time. And then she showed us the video, the infamous girl graves, thousands of unwanted daughters disposed of in an ever expanding hole, their heads crushing against each other like broken china dolls, drugstores with shelves upon shelves stacked with gender specific fertility drugs, as easy to buy as chewing gum, and the body learned. It learned that a female baby was an invader, come to steal her mother's beauty. A female baby was dangerous. There was concern, of course, Chastity Ruth told us, her stern voice at odds with the horror of her words. When years passed in the zones and no female babies were born, soon there was only a handful of original women left, all past childbearing age, and the threat of extinction seemed far too certain. Genetic engineers were forced to create women to ensure the survival of the human race, and since they had the opportunity, it would be foolish not to make the necessary improvements in new women, the Eves, she coughed delicately, and the school was formed to house them. Why didn't they give girl babies to the companions to raise as their own? She stared at me as I said this, identifying me as trouble. Who would have wanted you? She said. Who would have wanted you until you could have been of some use? I didn't understand what she meant by of use. Not then. Isabel slipped her hand into mine, anchoring me, and I knew she could protect me. I blinked twice, my vision blurring, pushing my way through the tinsely plants. I arrive at the outer limits of our world, my hands reaching out and met the shell that keeps us in here, safe from the wastelands. It's been tinted an inky black tonight, twinkling flakes precisely penciled in, a huge white moon drawn like an unblinking eye. I get as close as I can, flattening my body against the glass, feeling its solid resistance meeting me. I can see nothing beyond this, everything swallowed up by the night. What are you doing? I flinch, my right knee screaming as it hits the sky. She looks perplexed, her hands folded across her chest. Her black robes are strange against the colours of the garden. The light from the moon surrounds her bald head like a halo. You scared me, I say, and I sit heavily on the lime green lawn, squashing some poppy flowers as I do so. Chastity Magdalena comes closer, arranging her robes around her as she sits next to me. Her skin is still smooth, with only the beginning of faint lines forming around her copper-coloured eyes. She's the youngest Chastity, but still old, in her mid-30s, I think. Do you want to talk about it? She hesitantly pats my shoulder, and we both flinch. The Chastities never touch us. Is this to do with the ceremony, Frida? It's okay if it is. It's normal to feel apprehensive. I'm not sure if that is the reason. I don't know what this thing is, twisting in my gut, thirsting for something I can't name, but I nod my head. It's easier. What third do you want to be chosen for? I want to be a companion. Not a concubine? She asks, her cheeks colouring at the word. If that is the third the inheritance think I'm best suited to, then of course, I say, although I'd rather die than become a concubine. No interest in joining the chastities? As if anyone would want to become a chastity, faced with a lifetime of caring for newer, more nubile students as you grow old and decrepit, without the luxury of a termination date appointed to preserve your beauty. My eyes are drawn to the laughter lines scoring into your skin. I imagine her at 40 and 50 and 60. I shiver. I didn't think I would want to be a chastity at first, she says, oblivious to my thoughts. But well, she looks sad for a moment. Anyway, I think spending time with younger children and I, well, I didn't think I'd be able to fulfill those duties if the other to fulfill the duties of the other thirds. So it was for the best in the end. We both look away, the suggestion of sex looming between us. I felt safe in school, she adds hurriedly. It's peaceful here. That's what Isabel said. Well, maybe she'll join Agnes, I joke. Imagine, two chastities in 1 year. I bet that has never happened before. Oh, Isabel will never be a chastity. There are much greater things in store for her, she said, her voice oddly sad. But you thought it was an option for me? Why are there, or why aren't there, much greater things in store for me? Why does everyone always think Isabel is so much better than me? I touch the poppies at my feet, rubbing the fabric petals between my fingers. In the centre of each flower is a miniature mirror, big enough to hold to your eye if you lean in close. I crush it. The cloth tears easily, the glass buds shattering, breaking my reflection. It's time for bed, Frida. We walk in silence back to the dorms. The others are still sleeping deeply, my absence unnoticed. May you get what you wish, Frida, she whispers, as I lie down in bed, turning in the doorway as she leaves. May you be a mother of 100 sons. Since that's the end of the chapter, I'll read you this next little bit. It's just before chapter 6. It's in big capital letters. All Eves are created to be perfect, but, over time, they seem to develop flaws. Comparing yourself to your sisters is a useful way of identifying these flaws, but you must then take the necessary steps to improve yourself. There is always room for improvement, with a little 2, and the 2 is Audio Guide to the Rules of Proper Female Behaviour from the original father. So there you go. Once again, lots of wee things hinted at there throughout the chapter, and even the assigned termination date. That's a scary one, isn't it? How can you be a mother of 100 sons if your termination date is what must be late 20s if she thinks late 30s is old? Old. Anyway, enjoy, enjoy your day or week or whatever, whenever you're listening to this. Enjoy it anyway, and remember, this is only a work of fiction, and it's meant to be almost like an allegory of, an extreme version of, what could be if we let it. So remember, be vigilant and keep in mind that the rights that you have now, men and women, everyone out there, the rights that you have in your countries at the moment won't always remain that way. There'll always be people trying to come in and take those rights away, whatever they are, including your working rights or pay rights or whatever political issue you can think of rights that there is that you have at the moment. They can be taken from you in an instant. So always be, as I say, vigilant and do as necessary to protect those. And thank you for listening.